Hi, I'm Dr. Rebecca Gomez, clinical health psychologist, and today I'm going to talk to you about the social effects of stress management. Within that topic, I will highlight the impact of social connection and behavior activation on stress. Human beings are inherently social creatures. Studies suggest that we are profoundly shaped by our social environment and social connection. Social connectedness is defined as the sense of belonging and the psychological bond that people feel in relation to individuals and groups of others. This social connection can impact how we view ourselves, especially when we identify with a particular social group. So, what does social connection have to do with stress management? Did you know that our social connection impacts our mental and physical health as well as cognitive functioning? Physically, the stress response in the body is reduced. Being socially connected can suppress your neuroendocrine response, which is the release of hormones in the brain responsible for the fight or flight stress reaction in the body, as outlined in the biological stress management video. Greater social support has been shown to lower overall cortisol levels, a hormone released during times of stress, and increase oxytocin levels, also known as the cuddle hormone, because it's released when people bond socially. As the stress response decreases, immune function is enhanced, more so among people who are socially connected. That means that being socially connected can, in a sense, help you fight the common cold. Cardiovascular function improves and blood pressure decreases. And later in life, remaining socially connected has been shown to improve life expectancy. With regard to mental health, people with diverse social networks, typically involving interactions with family, friendships, religious or other informal group memberships, report fewer depressive symptoms, improved coping, and increased capacity for empathy towards others. As stress levels are reduced, cognitive function improves, including the ability to learn or take in new information, improving memory, and leaving you better able to engage in effective problem solving. Here's an example of how you can experience the benefits of social connection. Studies have shown that a 20-second hug, a continuous firm embrace, can release oxytocin, reduce stress hormone levels, and decrease blood pressure. I challenge you, the next time you go in for a hug, make it a good 20-second squeeze and see how you feel afterwards. While being socially connected is important, so is behavioral activation. Behavioral activation is a technique designed to increase one's participation in pleasurable and meaningful activities, and ultimately contribute to improvements in thoughts, mood, and overall quality of life. It comes from the theory that people experience depression as a result of decreased positive reinforcement, especially in social relationships. Now, positive reinforcement is when you experience a positive reaction after engaging in a particular behavior, which reinforces the behavior, making you more likely to engage in the behavior again and again. The theory suggests that depressed individuals tend to withdraw from others and from engaging in pleasurable activities, thus reducing opportunities for positive reinforcement. By increasing activity, whether it's physical, cognitive, or social, the goal is to expose you to opportunities for pleasant experience, social connection, and even develop a level of mastery in a given activity. In addition to treatment for depression, behavioral activation is incorporated into a number of evidence-based treatments for anxiety, such as relaxation, exposure and desensitization, and response prevention techniques. When combined with cognitive strategies, Behavioral activation can help combat anxiety and stress related to problematic thinking as well. Behavioral activation has been shown to improve mood, help individuals learn to cope with negativity, and increase self-confidence in stressful situations that could occur in everyday life. If your pleasurable activities are physical in nature, you could experience additional health benefits. Exercise also helps to reduce the stress hormones in the body and introduces hormones that are responsible for positive emotion. So, how do you engage in behavioral activation? Start by identifying tasks or activities that have meaning for you or are in line with your personal goals and values. Write these activities down. Keep a list and refer back to it often. Make the tasks measurable so that you can be aware of any progress. Did you know that studies have shown that when you measure a behavior, you can change a behavior? Break down big activities into smaller activities that are easier to accomplish. This can include breaking long-term goals into many short-term goals, or it could take more difficult activities and breaking them down into easier, more manageable activities. This can help you experience a sense of accomplishment along your way to achieving your overall goals, making it more likely that you'll actually continue towards that goal. Mix things up. Make sure you engage in a variety of activities across different facets of your life. Include activities focused on self-care, personal growth, relationship development, career development, and even spiritual health. Make it a priority. Put it on a calendar. Schedule time for yourself to engage in these activities. Here's an example. Let's say I want to increase my exercise level, and I set a goal to run 3.1 miles, a 5K. In order for me to achieve this goal and safely engage in running activities, I might start by walking for a certain amount of time or for a certain distance, so many days per week. I would make weekly goals to increase this time or distance over several weeks, working towards the distance goal of 3.1 miles, all the while improving health, mental well-being, and self-confidence. Now, if you blend social connection with behavioral activation, you get accountability partners. Accountability is used to encourage follow-through on a particular goal or action. Studies have shown that anticipation of someone following up with you motivates you to follow through in a given activity. Being that we're influenced by others, especially those with whom we strive to identify, having an accountability partner who shares common values can help you achieve behavior change goals. That means that when your accountability partner is someone you respect, you're more likely to achieve and maintain that goal over a longer period of time. From a lifespan perspective, studies also show that it is more than leisure or physical activity that contributes to longer life expectancy, but the productive engagement with others in the process of participating in these activities. Here's an example. While digital accountability trackers are helpful, you have to be pretty self-motivated. Simply having a pedometer doesn't necessarily make you more inclined to get your steps in. Add a social component to a digital tracker, and you're more likely to remain consistent. Take the Fitbit. It tracks your activity, but then your data can be shared with friends and family. This can incite support and maybe a little competition. But if you add an accountability partner, you are even more likely to remain focused on achieving your goals. Say you arrange to go walking with your accountability partner. You might be less inclined to skip the activity, and you might even take more steps than planned. So, how do you apply these concepts in your healthy lifestyle routine? As mentioned in the other stress management videos, First, you must be able to recognize signs of stress, keeping in mind that stress affects us physically, mentally, and emotionally. It also affects our behavior. You might experience irritability and agitation, isolation and withdrawal, relationship changes, communication challenges. At work, you might have increased absenteeism or call-outs, decreased productivity, and poor performance. When you notice stress, work on making changes that are within your control. From a social perspective, get connected socially. At home, reach out to friends and family. Schedule a time to meet, whether it's virtual or in person. At work, connect with a colleague. Talk about your interests and hobbies. Learn something new about that person that has nothing to do with their role at work. Get engaged in an activity. What are those hobbies or activities that you enjoy but have maybe set aside for a while? At work, increase your level of activity. Use a standing desk or take a walk during your lunch break. Volunteer to assist with a project that has interest to you. What about listening to an audiobook or learning a new language on your commute? Make yourself accountable to someone. Have your partner, neighbor, family, friend, or a trusted colleague be your accountability partner. Keep in mind that competition can be motivating to a degree, but it can also become toxic and counterproductive. So whoever you ask, make sure this person has a positive attitude about your goals and is supportive of your success. So what are some good next steps? If you haven't already seen the other videos in this series, I encourage you to check them out. They address the biological and psychological aspects of stress management. And if you're interested in listening to a mindfulness activity focused on social connection, I encourage you to check out the social meditation video. The meditation focuses on social connection and compassion to self and others. It's also known as the loving kindness meditation. Some neuroimaging studies indicate that practicing the loving kindness meditation regulates the function of the limbic system, which is a site in the brain that's in charge of processing emotions and empathy. Regular practitioners of this meditation report reduced self-criticism and self-destructive thoughts. They experience more positive emotions and self-motivation, improved resilience, and increased empathy for others. Check it out and see what a little loving kindness can bring to your life. I additionally challenge you to schedule time for yourself to engage in an activity of your choice. Start with something you know. Pick up an old hobby or an interest. This could be reading, crafting, running, gardening, whatever brought you a sense of joy, fun, and fulfillment. Write out your activity and develop a goal that you might want to achieve. Is there someone who could engage in this activity with you? Would they make a good accountability partner? Once you know what you want to do, start by setting aside 10 minutes to engage in this activity. Gradually increase the length of time or the frequency in which you engage in this behavior. Along the way, be mindful and aware of your mood and your stress level before and after engaging in this activity. Lastly, try not to stress over stress management. Try a few of the strategies presented throughout these stress management videos that are most meaningful to you. Ultimately, you have to find what works best for you. Thank you for watching, and stay well.